In this video, I'll demonstrate how to install the Windows Management Framework 5.1 along with Windows PowerShell 5.1. Okay, now this is Windows Server 2016, so let's just go ahead and check our version of PowerShell. The way you do that is with the $PS version table .ps. Okay, so we've got Windows PowerShell 5.1 installed, and the reason I know that is because we've got the major version 5 and the minor version 1, so that's great. And that's no surprise because that does come pre-installed or by default included with Windows Server 2016. But what if you wanted to install it on another version of Windows, an earlier version, and maybe a non-server version, so a client version? So let's take a look at doing this with Windows 8.1. Okay, so in Windows 8.1, I'm going to click on the Start menu button, start typing in PowerShell, and there we go. It's right there. Now, in Windows Server, I didn't need to do this because I was already logged in as the administrator, but here I'm going to right-click and choose Run as Administrator. Now let's go ahead and check the version, and to do that, $PS version table .ps version. Okay, so we're using the Windows Management Framework in PowerShell 4.0, which makes sense because that's what shipped Windows 8.1. But we want to upgrade that to 5.1. So I'm going to go to my browser and search for WMF 5.1. And the very first link is the download link. And there's the download button right there. Now, it's very important that before you download and install, that you make sure that you meet the system requirements, and here are the various systems that work with this version of the Windows Management Framework. Okay, so here's the download page, and there's the download button. But before we go ahead and do that, let's click on System Requirements. Now, this tells us the various operating systems that are supported. It's also important to note that WMF 5.1 requires Microsoft.NET Framework 4.5. And as a matter of fact, you should make sure that your Windows 8.1 system is entirely updated, just to make sure that you don't have any problems during installation. So just make sure you have that figured out first. And then once you have, go ahead and click on the download link. Now we're going to choose a version, and these versions vary from this one, which is Windows 2012. That's actually Server 2012. This one for Windows 7 and Windows Server 2012 or 2008 R2 rather. This one for Windows 7, this one for Windows 8.1, and Windows 2012 version R2, and finally the version for Windows 8.1. Now notice that this one is the x86 version. So I'm using 64-bit Windows, so this is the one I really want, even though it also says Windows Server 2012. So I'll go ahead and check this one and click Next. And at this point, you can choose to open or save. I'm just going to open, which means that it's going to run automatically once I finish downloading it. And then the download will start. Now, keep in mind that once this is done, assuming that your Windows system is up to date, and you've got the .NET Framework 4.5, then everything will be good to go. Now, you also may get this message here if you haven't actually installed necessary components. Windows or the Microsoft site might advise you that you have to download certain things. Go ahead and accept the license, and then the update will begin. And that's it. The rest of it is smooth sailing. Once you're installed, you'll be able to go back into PowerShell and check the version, and a restart will be required for this particular operation. But after that, you will have the WMF framework and PowerShell versions 4.0 and PowerShell versions 5.1.